Let's take on some conversation here about using kettlebells. We've really used kettlebells extensively in the last 5 years. I'd say it's become a big aspect of what we practice, and there's a lot of good reason for that. So we want to kind of dive into that as to some of the concepts of the bell and why we use the bell, and really want to help maybe remove some of the fear that might be out there from using the bell, because we really found this to be a tremendously valuable tool. And we'll talk about that from a shoulder and upper extremity standpoint, a trunk standpoint, as well as the lower extremity standpoint. You can use in these different elements, and I think get a lot of benefit from it. So we're a strong believer throughout our organization at KIME that using the bell is a great tool. We've really identified well with the strong first methodology, and I think every clinician on the team is SFG certified, at least level 1, if not level 2.
Or training for it.
Or in the process for it. And it's not to say that the SFG is the only way. I think we're also supportive of the RKC process. So either one is fine, because at the end of the day, it's about your understanding of how the bell works and how you can use it to your advantage in the training environment. So whether that be from rehab to performance, but this is probably the place we use it the most, in that space in between, where someone's gone through some rehab and now it's time to kind of build them up and start to load the process, load the system, load the pattern. And maybe someone who's about ready to kind of start on some strength training, maybe the barbells, they haven't quite, what we would say, earned the barbell yet, or maybe earned the Olympic lift yet. So how can we go through some bell work to help get them there? So,
yeah, I think years ago it was. I'm a firm believer for any listener, especially more of a younger listener. You find your role model and you learn what they learn. You read the books they read, and I remember looking through Greg Cook's bookshelf online, and I remember seeing a book by Pavel Tsatsouline, and I liked reading what other people were reading, and so I read that book, and I thought Pavel might be of the more interesting reads in the strength world that I've ever read. And then I looked a little bit deeper, and I found out that Greg Cook was kettlebell certified, and then I found out, oddly enough, that Pavel was kind of the spearhead behind that. And looking at this kettlebell, this single tool, it was really kind of interesting on how you can develop a whole certification behind just like a singular tool. And that kind of like, I kind of jumped all in because I really loved, going back to one of our other episodes on SFMA, I love the thinking, the algorithmic thinking of the SFMA. And I thought, if the minds behind the SFMA also think that the minds behind the kettlebell is worth a dive, then I'm going to jump all in. And it didn't disappoint.